It was 20 years ago. I was a young man. I did look like that. Had no gray hair. And I was on television on CNBC with Tiger Woods and Ernie Els, and we were announcing a project in the Bahamas. And at that time, the then tourism minister and a lady that's become very important to me, both we became friends while she was in the private sector and now more recently has come into the public sector, the Minister Audrey Marks. I would like to please give her a round of applause. I hope she is here, but she's a very special lady in this journey. Anyway, we were on television and we got a letter that basically said, would you consider coming to Jamaica? And the logic was this. Jamaica dominated the all-inclusive sector in tourism, which is, I think, is the undisputed king or queen of that segment of the hospitality business, probably globally. But certainly in the Western Hemisphere. 22,000 all-inclusive hotel rooms are here today. And whether the country needs more of that or not, I'm going to leave to the minister to figure that out. But the logic was we were probably the best in developing things that related around golf. And golf typically attracts a wealthier type of clientele. And Jamaica had bought this property. In fact, I think I just learned today Dr. Chang bought it, I think with some money from the NHT and DBJ. And it was a vision started by a gentleman that clearly the country backed to start this project. And that is how this property was purchased by really two departments of government or closely aligned entities. And their vision was to bring in a European plan style development to the country. And so we got called. The logic was golfers will attract a different type of clientele, which would complement what was going on in the country. And that is why we started to get involved. I came here. I had it wasn't a lot of fun, the drive from Kingston to Montego Bay through some interesting roads at that time. And then the North Coast Highway was being built, and my teeth kind of were chattering as we were driving over. I'd never driven on a road that was actually under construction at the same time. It was pretty amazing. And also the airport had just been redone, and we were heavily invested in the Bahamas. And I will tell you, some of my principals said to me when I first said I'm going to go to Jamaica, we've been invited by the country to look at some things. Security came up. It was a big thing, right? We're talking 2005. Is Jamaica safe, etc. And so I was like, well, listen, I've done some analysis of what has the most air routes at this time. It's only grown, courtesy of the minister. What has the most air routes directly in the English-speaking Caribbean? And it's Montego Bay and Kingston. More so than the Bahamas, even though we are, that is my home. The Bahamas is my home. And at that time it wasn't. We had a big investment there, but I moved to live there in 2009. And the other thing that was happening was the tourism stats were growing. So I'm like, oh, if it's so unsafe, people wouldn't go back there. So the headlines were not matching up with the reality. And that started this journey. And it's taken too long. I think I've been through about 5 prime ministers. I hope this is the last one for both of us. And I would like to wish the doctor and prime minister happy birthday as well. He looks good for 16. So that kind of has been it. We've been through a financial crisis. We've been through a pandemic. We've been through some indecision on both sides at different times. I will say this, while I'm upset it's taken this long to be here, it's not there are only a few of us that actually were here at the very beginning. I think Jeffrey, explained there's been a lot of change, whether it's been at the top of the country or down below, but Minister Marks, myself, Dr. Chang, there are a few people who really have been involved in this project from the very beginning. I'm very grateful to you for believing in us, because I know there were moments and times where people questioned our commitment. But I will say this, I'm actually glad it's taken this long, because when I see what Jamaica is today versus what it was then, we are partners in this. We are financial partners. We are strategic partners. And we're going to talk a little bit about making sure that the citizens of Jamaica have an opportunity to become a part of this journey. It's very important to us. We'll talk about that in a second. I think this is only going to be 10 times better than what it would have been on two levels. One is the country is in a very different place. I mean, it is now the model for fiscal responsibility. And it is literally just ready to blast off, right? It is ready to blast off, and we're going to help lead that. This, I think, will probably be the first $1 billion tourism project. I know in utility areas and stuff, there have been other investments, but US $1 billion phase one, I think this will be the first. I might be wrong. But we intend it to be so, and hopefully that will stimulate others. Not they get so good that they hurt us. But anyway, it will be important. So the country is ready for this moment, and if I'm being honest with you, that guy there, gone. Okay, that good-looking guy is now replaced with this guy, and we're so much more ready, just as the country is, to do something amazing. So I can tell you whatever version of Harmony Cove would have happened, whether it was when we first started or 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, what I can tell you is it's going to be unbelievable now. And I'll talk a little bit about why that's the case. Now, you might be confused. Everyone is confused because they haven't explained it well. All my the predecessors here. Tavistock and Nexus. Which one is it? Right? You heard, if you were listening, you've heard that two different names. So let me explain. So when we first arrived here in 2006 and this project was started, it was really myself and my benefactor, my boss is the Lewis family. They're the owners of Tottenham Hotspur, built the best football stadium in the world. Yeah. And big Spurs fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, but it's okay. Now, you may know, even though we haven't been impacting things here on the ground, the first time Tottenham ever played Jamaica, that was us that made that happen. It happened in the Bahamas. It happened several years ago. It was a bit of a boring 0-0 draw, but we managed to orchestrate a match at the end of the Premier League season where the Jamaican national team flew to the Bahamas and played the Tottenham Hotspur team. I hope that's just a sampler of things to come. In other words, we can make amazing things happen together. We actually have been doing it. We also have a golf academy that is based in the Bahamas. Some of your best junior golfers actually live in our development there. Albany, we built a school there. A member of the Issa families there, a lady called Emily Main, who's gone on to get a golf scholarship. So we have at university. So we have been trying, but it's time to do something here now. So the difference between Tavistock and Nexus is Tavistock was the first entity. At that point, Albany was not open. Albany is our flagship property in the Bahamas. To give you some idea, that property is more of a for sale kind of ice cream. This is going to be less that to begin with. This is going to be more hotel. But in the Bahamas, we've sold over $4 billion of property. When we showed up there, an acre of beachfront property was $100,000. Today, it sold, the last acre sold for $30 million for an acre. Okay, so it was 300 times increase in the price of the property. Now, things don't go in straight lines. They hockey stick. So I can tell you, if I was to go back over that journey, so 15 years ago, this piece of land was worth $100,000 an acre, and it would have been very similar to what you would see here today. It was raw. It was kind of, not the Silver Sands is raw, but it would have been, there wasn't much development around it. It was $100,000 an acre. I would say let's say that was 2005. In 2020, that piece of property probably was worth 10 million. So pretty good. But from 2020 to 2023, it went to 30. So value gets created in strange ways, and it does take time. It does take a critical mass. It takes people like the people I'm going to share with you who are involved in this project, being involved, being behind this, exposing what we're doing on the internet through television, like we're not really big on paying for advertising. There's much better ways for it. I mean, how many of you get emails from people that you don't want? Okay, everybody, right? Delete, delete, delete. Now, so the Nexus part of Tavistock becomes very important. So Tavistock was what started. Today, I stand here representing Nexus. Nexus is Tavistock, but Tavistock plus Tiger Woods, Tavistock plus Justin Timberlake, Tavistock plus Ernie Els, Tavistock plus Contegral Group, Tavistock plus Will Smith. They are all partners in the Harmony Cove vision, and I will tell you, it is very much, and there are some clever people in this audience. I've bet a lot of very clever people, so I'm not going to spill all our secrets because I don't want you nicking our ideas. But I will tell you there will be some very, very famous people that are very important to this country as Jamaicans becoming part of that group and us creating moments to celebrate their excellence, whether that be in music or in athletics. And we have some unbelievable things. Along with all of that, obviously, we're going to celebrate the best of Jamaica, the best coffee, the best rum. We're going to be run, our project is going to be run by Jamaicans. In the Bahamas, we have established a bar that is so high that you could sell a piece of raw land for $30 million. At service levels, when I first started there, everyone said you've got no chance of ever delivering the quality of service required to service customers that would spend that kind of money. Today, we have 99% Bahamian run development. In other words, we're the highest payers in the country. We were the first ones to provide health insurance to employees. This is not about how little money we could pay somebody, because that is not how you build a relationship with somebody. It is not transactional. People don't get let go at Albany, and those are the same traits that we're going to bring here to Jamaica. It will be Jamaican run. We will be the best payers in hospitality, because that's how you get the best staff. And also, they have a voice at all times. We actually created our own unions in the Bahamas, where basically that the departments within themselves represent themselves. They don't need to pay anybody to ever talk to the ownership. We're here. We're there. We run our property. So we are very excited about having these other shareholders. So how would Tiger and Justin, as an example, manifest themselves in collaborating here? So Tiger and Justin both, we create these fence post events each year, always for charity. So I think we have over 4 events that raise over $1 million per event that goes to charity, oftentimes to youth. That is one of our main areas of giving. We have built a school in the Bahamas. I have no doubt we will be very involved here in those community aspects. It will be our objective to create these kind of high-profile events that end up on television. They do an unbelievable job marketing our properties, but in a very clever way where it's not look like it's paid for. Now, the other thing is, so Justin has over 100 million social media followers. Now, think about the difference between, and I'm just going to say, let's just say a Marriott or a Hyatt, great world-class hospitality organizations, but I get a lot of emails from them that I delete, and so do you. Okay? However, when you sign up to get somebody's content on the internet, you are asking to be talked to. That is a very different thing than an outbound email that goes into a box, a trash box. And so the power of these celebrities and these personalities is something we have harnessed and learned how to harness. So much so we have built a music studio in the Bahamas, and I will tell you, we will be building one here, and it will be an unbelievable studio. Why that matters is the most followed people on the internet are musicians, okay? And the reason for that is because they distribute their product through the internet. Very few people distribute their product through the internet. They communicate with their customers through the internet. Software is about the only other product I can think of that you actually take it from you buy the product from the internet. And so how do musicians connect with their customers if their point of sale is the internet? That is why social media has become so important to them. So if you go and look at who have the most followers, musicians are massive. Okay, and we intend to harness that by creating music festivals here, obviously with Justin Timberlake as one of our shareholders. That will be easy. Will Smith as well. But it is important to us to embrace the local community. That young lady that did that. All right. song there is a great example of sitting here. So part of our studio time will be allocated to local artists to be able to record and to get help. So music is very important to us. Sport is very important to us. These are both things we're going to lean into. I can't wait to create content for the cricket stadium that was built when I first arrived here. Maybe something other than cricket. Albeit you guys we're gonna do better in the next innings. Okay. Those Australians, they're buggers. So anyway, those are some of the things we've been up to, is really learning how to harness the power of what we have to bring to Jamaica. So I'll give you an example. We opened something called T Squared. What's T Squared? That stands for Tiger and Timberlake. So it's algebra at its highest level. Okay, put into a bar. Okay, it's a joke. But anyway, so the two T's, right? Now algebra. Okay. So anyway, we opened this business in New York City called T Squared. Today we have over 1,200 corporate event relationships. Now why does that matter? And this is an example. T Squared wasn't open 2 years ago. That matters because one of our strategies is to bring major corporations to come to Jamaica and have corporate events here, especially in off-peak season, right? A time like now, how could we get Pricewaterhouse or Bank of America or a famous law firm to come here and do corporate retreats? That is a massive part of our business plan. I'm telling you, there aren't many people that have 1,200 corporate relationships, and that's out of one location. We're now opening in Scotland. Next month, we're opening in Nashville. We're opening in Toronto. These are all very important markets and good markets for Jamaica. I said to you, Los Angeles, a little less exciting. We're not opening in Los Angeles. Our East Coast presence is very important, and Jamaica is always at the top of our mind. So to be able to leverage T Squared, and by the way, Harmony Cove will have a T Squared. The other thing, we announced an acquisition about 2 months ago, the most exclusive private children's club in the world, based in London. It's called Purple Dragon. It will be coming to Harmony Cove. Now, the last thing I'd like to share with you is it's all, I've been in the Bahamas, and sometimes things can get a little, exciting between Bahamians and non-Bahamians. And I'm sure Jamaica, as a country of the most proud people, that I'm sure could exist. It is very important to understand that here we are partners with not only the country, and in fact, I think we have some retirement accounts, funds are the investor in harmonization. So this project is already going to be owned by thousands of Jamaicans. Well, one of the things we're committed to doing is an IPO. So an IPO is an initial public offering. So after project begins, we'll allow, and we want it to be focused on Jamaican citizens, not big institutions, but they will be able to buy shares in Harmony Code. It could be a small amount, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000.
You want that breakdown? Yeah.
But here's the other part of it. We want our best customers to be Jamaicans. We want our best shareholders to be Jamaicans. So how can you harness that in a wonderful way? So what we will be doing is creating a loyalty program that if you're a shareholder in Harmony Code, and again, it could be as little as $1,000. This isn't intended to price people out. This isn't like, oh, you've got about own $1 million worth of shares to play. It could be as low as $1,000. You will get coupons to be able to use Harmony Code. For example, it might be come for one night, get a free night stay. It's going to be things like that we want Jamaicans to feel like this is their place, both if they want to invest in it, but also welcome to use Harmony Code. The other thing that's obviously so apparent here is there are 22,000 all-inclusive hotel rooms. It is what it is. It's an amazing product, but it can get boring. I've done my own due diligence, and in the grill I went and stayed one day, and I went and stayed at a couple's. Amazing. It was $800, by the way, a night. I was like, that's pretty strong for I thought all-inclusives were meant to be cheap. It wasn't cheap. It was interesting. I'm there. There was an interesting beach experience next to it. You guys might know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, cool. I'm not really here to eat and drink all I can for free, so I'm really going to go and experience things. So we went down the beach, eat at one location. Everybody from my hotel's eating there. That's interesting. They've got everything bought and paid for at just right here, but they're here clearly spending money. This isn't part of the all-inclusive deal. Then the real litmus test was I got a Rick's Cafe. Okay? That's a $20 taxi drive. you wouldn't pay that, but I got to pay that. There's a $20 cab ride, and half the place were the people staying in my hotel. And it's $20 there, and it's $20 back, and I'm watching guys dive off a cliff that like almost had a heart attack. And I was like, this is incredible. The point is, I think there is a comfort when people come and stay at all-inclusive hotels that says, you know what, I'm going to have a great holiday. I don't need to worry about anything. But it's just the beginning of their journey here. And the average length of stay here is 8.8 days. You cannot tell me that they don't want to do something else in that 8.8 days. And we are going to create an amazing, welcoming place for those tourists to come and enjoy while still being big customers of the all-inclusive hotel segment. And our job is going to be to welcome those people as much as we welcome our hotel guests. So there will be day lockers there. There are going to be the most incredible things for these folks to do that will also strengthen and complement what's here. We're not here to screw things up. We're here to actually make things better. I think we'll bring a new group of tourists to the country, and I think we're going to strengthen the existing tourism product, and I hope we're going to make this a great place for Jamaicans to enjoy. And with that, I thank you. I can't wait to break ground. It'll be in Q1, and we have a little video here. I couldn't do the accent, the voiceover. It's too cool. And I hope you can hear it. Thank you very much.